Listen to me for the next few minutes and I can guarantee you that I can change the perspective you have on life, just like how I changed mine. And if you're wondering who this person is, I'm Florina Jain, otherwise known as Flow of Music, and I'm a music producer, music educator. I have a YouTube and Instagram handle that is constantly growing, and I love to mix and master music. And I do this full time. If you asked me a couple of years ago that I would be teaching lots of students around the globe about mixing and mastering, in fact, in music as such, I would have actually laughed at you because it is something that I didn't know I am good at. And how did I figure that out? I just did it. That's all I did. I just did it. A couple of years ago, when I was learning to mix and master, after completing the course, I had someone tell me that I have to start teaching to other people what I have learned. But that was the time when I just finished learning myself and I wasn't a pro at all. So I was just, throwing plugins in and trying what works, just trusting my ears and doing it. But then later on, I had a client who gave me their project for a Christmas song and I worked on that song. I did the mixing and mastering part. I also actually arranged that song. After doing that song, the same client asked me if I could teach them mixing and mastering, and I haven't taught anybody anything until that point. I could have been scared and I should have just said no like a normal person would. But what I did was I just said okay. And I had no idea what I was going to teach. I had no idea what schedule I was going to follow, what topics I'm going to cover. I had nothing. I just winged it. I literally did that. So my first student for whom I was teaching, right before they started their classes with me, just I think 1 or 2 days ago, I sat with my Notion open and then I was just jotting down how I should probably teach them. What topics should I teach them each and every week? And I wrote down my first class. I remember putting something called fundamentals in logic, how to set BPM, what is key, and a couple of other things like equipment setup. And that was the first class. I did not even write the content for the second class. That's the funny part. I just wrote the first class and I told them that this is what I'm going to do. We'll be learning about the fundamentals of DAW, a little bit on arrangement, and our focus is mainly on mixing and mastering. Thank God that student trusted me. They learned a lot, but more than that, I learned a lot about what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are. Not everything has to be planned in our lives, right? And certainly not in mine. I just did something because someone asked me to. And I had no experience in teaching prior to that. I just did it because I know I love the subject. And I thought I'll just give it a go. And suppose if things didn't work out well and if the student didn't like my teaching, I can figure out a way after that. I'll do something else. That's all. There was no plan, there was no structure, there was no schedule. But the moment that student joined, things fell in place. I started my first class. The first 4 weeks went well and I asked for their feedback and they said they really enjoy learning with me and they love the way I teach. And it just went on a spree like that. So my basic structure in teaching mixing and mastering is an 8-month course where you learn the entire fundamentals in mixing and mastering. Now, how do I know the fundamentals? I never knew. I learned it from somebody else, and then it was all through practice, trial and error, going through YouTube videos, just trying something. I'll do something and I'll put it out through a YouTube video. I might get criticism for that also. Like, I remember there was this mastering video where I uploaded a plugin and accidentally I put a dual mono setting for that plugin instead of putting stereo. And this was on a mastering tutorial, okay? My intention, I know I have to put a stereo plugin, but by mistake, I just put a dual mono plugin on that. And if you see that comment, almost entirely, a lot of people were telling me that the plugin is wrong and you don't know how to teach, don't teach somebody what you don't know and all that stuff. See, what my objective was to learn better in mixing and mastering. So all I focused on was that I need to learn something in mixing and mastering, and what I learn, I will put it out on the world. Through that, I get to learn more about the same concept. I get better understanding of the same thing, because if you see any kind of professional person and if you ask them how they know all this, they'll tell you that it's because they taught somebody else, or it's because they actually taught somebody on the topic that they know the topic really well. Major professors will also tell you that. That's how I learned. I learned a concept. I tried to do it while I'm like filming and I put it out on the world. I have no idea what I did was right or wrong. At that point, I thought it was right and I did it. And that's how I learned mixing and mastering, and I'm still learning. Now, do I know to do YouTube videos from the beginning? Did I have a clear plan about, yes, I'm going to become a YouTuber and I'm going to get clients through this? Nothing. I just did it. And that's how things worked for me, taking the first step. Sometimes we just procrastinate and we just not even take the first step because it could be because I want the best content to come out. I want the proper lighting with me, the right mic, the right equipment, the right setup, a very, accentuated setup or something like that, that we fail to put our first video out soon. In my case, that was never, the situations that I was leaning towards. I never had the best equipment. In fact, if you actually go to my first couple of videos, my speakers were just on the table. It did not even have like a foam underneath. In fact, even prior to those videos, I had a solo mic and I was just holding and I was teaching through that, and I never had the best equipment. All I did was I just filmed myself by, talking what I learned. And that's how my YouTube channel grew. And that's how it was genuine also. Because literally nothing was planned, okay? All my topics were something I learned during the week and I put that out, through which I learned more and a lot of people learned as well. And that's how I got clients. When I got my first mixing and mastering client, did I know how to mix and master for another person? I had no idea. In fact, I always thought that, they give a project to me and then it's all according to how I kind of envision the project to be and all that stuff, how I kind of make the project come to life, and I never thought it would be based on the client's perspective of the project. So that was a learning curve for me. Initially, when I got a project from a person for whom also I was, recording their vocals, they had a vision for the song which I didn't quite have. They wanted it more kind of an EDM style music and stuff like that. And I had no knowledge in EDM, okay? I was into orchestra and pop, melody, gospel, stuff like that. And I didn't know what to do. But I still did it, okay? And I went through multiple tutorials, kind of kept practicing. I did it so many times. In the end, client liked it, okay? I learned it by doing it. When a client gives me project, I can give them all my inputs. But in the end, I need to fulfill the client's, idea of the song. It's not my song, right? I'm just enhancing the song. Origin is from the client, right? So I need to make sure to put them as my priority. And I learned it as I'm doing it. Similarly, I've been selling a lot of digital products like Logic Pro shortcuts and then chord sheets and stuff like that. Now, do I have skills in marketing? I don't. All I did was make something that I know I would use. And I put a price on that, which I thought was the right price, put it out. And all I did was put it on my Instagram and YouTube, and I was just showing them how I would use it and stuff like that, and it worked. So there are a lot of scenarios where what I tried to do did not work as well. Like for example, for a long time, I was trying to shift my one-on-one classes. I always take one-on-one classes and shift it into a group class, because if you think about it, one-on-one classes, yes, I mean, people come to you and you have a dedicated time for them and all that stuff, but it becomes repetitive. In a day, I take minimum 3 one-on-one classes. And if I have to repeat the same topic at 3 different time durations in the same day, won't that be a little, repetitive and boring? And it kind of becomes frustrating when you keep saying the same thing over and over for different people, right? For almost a year, I was thinking about slowly starting group classes while also doing one-on-one, just reducing the number a bit. The fear that I would not handle a group class well, or I might be intimidated by the questions they ask. What if I don't know the answer to that question? Or what if I do something wrong and an experienced person is in the group and they question me about that? And all these different questions were constantly lingering in my mind to a point where I just skipped that whole year and all I did was take one-on-one classes completely. But this year, I start group classes. My first batch is done and you won't believe the amount of positive feedbacks I got from them. And that's when I knew that, okay, what I'm doing is good. And I got that kind of affirmation from them.
Your explanation is very clear. So I learned a lot of things like panning techniques and everything. That's very nice in detail. The way you teach is very good.
Even when we ask some questions that is too much, you are trying to properly handle it. And I really want to, thank you for taking time. I think all 4 classes, it was fantastic.
I'm like a blank paper. I am learning stuff from you. You are, as I said on the YouTube comment, you are an SME, subject matter expert. So learning from you is a privilege, and learning with these guys, with their ideas, examples, everything, I really enjoy it. I'm learning from you guys.
How did I know I'll do it? Well, I had no idea. I kept procrastinating. I kept doubting myself. And I was having that fear that I will be intimidated and I won't know anything. But then I thought, okay, let's just give it a shot and we'll see what happens. That's how I did last month's class. I put in my 100% and I know that. I know the content is good, what I'm going to teach, and I know I'll do my best to teach that. And if I don't know something that the student asks me, it's okay. I can tell them that I'll research about it and I'll let them know or something like that. Because if I don't know, I don't know and I have to learn about it. I can't pretend like I know and give a false, scenario about stuff, right? So I did that, and then that was a success. Now I have another batch coming in August, and that's going to go well. I'm having a lot of responses. So that's how I know. All I did was just do it. If you have a music project in mind and you're constantly procrastinating and you're thinking, oh, if I start this, will I do it well? Maybe I'm not good enough. There are so many people out there who's already, good enough in it. Why should I give my go at it right now? And all those questions, I would tell you that it is normal for you to think that way. But what's bad is staying in that same position. If I had been in that same position 4-5 years before, I wouldn't be here talking to you in this video. It was because I thought, okay, let's do it. And that's how I did it. So that pushed me to be consistent in learning also. I knew I had to post a video every week in order to be consistent on YouTube. And in order to do that, I need to learn something new. I can't just keep putting the same thing, beating around the same bush, right? Kind of started like that, and I kept learning every week, kept putting videos every week, and that's how my YouTube grew to close to 25,000 subscribers right now. I had no idea it will become that way. So you do have the fire in you to kind of continue your passion or something that you like, a hobby or something. But if something is stopping you, what I would suggest is say, just do it. Okay? Whatever you think you have to do it, but you're scared to do it, it doesn't matter what another person thinks about you, okay? You can fail. It's okay to fail. What's not okay is to stay in the same place thinking everybody will look down on you and think in a bad way about you or be embarrassed and stuff like that. That's a bad place to be because you're idle. You're not moving, right? You're not going forward. You're not going backward. You're just staying in the same place. Whatever you're stuck with, be it music or be it any hobby, I suggest close your eyes, just say a short prayer and just go and do it. And I guarantee you, you may have a smooth path, you may have a rocky path, you may fail multiple times before you see one tiny success, but all that is okay in order to see something beautiful come out in the end, okay? So that's how you see me do all these things. That's how I actually have a living. And that's how I get my income as well. I have a lot of people reaching out to me. I would have been shocked if someone told me that a couple of years ago, that people will reach out to me and give me work. I thought I had to go ahead and, ask people. But all my work till now has come to me automatically, without me going and asking them. I'm including mixing, mastering works, student teaching, and brand deals and product promotions, everything that I'm talking about, even working in studios and interning in studios around Chennai. Everything has happened by the client coming to me. This is not something that I'm telling you to brag about. I'm saying this because I had no idea these things will happen. All I did was have this passion in me, and I just thought, okay, let's do it. And slowly things started to fall in place. Even during failure times, yes, it was heartbreaking, it was bad, and I was hoping, okay, this person would support me and someone will encourage me. But in the end, somehow I kept pushing forward. Through the failures, through the negative comments, which, by the way, there's a lot of negative comments in social media when someone does something new. But through all that, it's just how I kept pushing through. And I know that every single one of you who's seen this video will be able to do the same thing. It's just that willpower, It's okay. It's okay what that person, says negatively about me. I know my worth. Keep moving forward. That's all. If it is a good criticism, take it in the right way. If someone says what you're doing is wrong and they are actually, educated and professional, and if you think that's a good value, take it up and say, okay, yeah, what you're saying is right, and learn it and improve in your next video or in your next song. That's how I've been doing all this while, and that's how I'll be continuing to do. So I'm planning to push my kind of portfolio to a lot of artists and kind of work with them in mixing and mastering. So there's a lot of learnings that I've done, but the final say in this video is that don't be scared to do something, okay? Unless it involves a lot of investment, an extreme amount of time or money, then you have to think about that. But if it's a normal thing like putting a video or putting a song out or stuff like that, do it. This is how I learned, and I can vouch for my work life that's worked for me. And failure has helped me move forward only. It has not brought me back. It has helped me learn so much of stuff and helped me connect with a lot of people in the industry as well in ways I never thought I would do it. So that's my encouragement for you. This is a very different video compared to all the previous videos that I've done, which is mainly mixing and mastering tutorials. But I thought a lot of people were recently connecting to me and asking me how I am doing this full time and how did I know to do all this? How did I know to manage a business and stuff like that? This is my answer. I never knew how to do any of these things. I just decided to go for it and I learned through the way. That's my answer. And this is where I am right now. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So that's my encouraging point for you. So if you found this video encouraging and if you think this has really sparked your creativity and if you want to keep pushing forward, please comment below so that I will know your story and I will talk to you and we can all grow as a community. I hope this video was useful. Thank you so much for watching. Keep making music and I'll see you guys in another video.